Hi guys, welcome back to another RabbitMQ tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look at the competing consumer pattern, which is a common messaging pattern. It's also known as a work queue and is often used to distribute time-consuming tasks among multiple workers. So the main idea of this is, say if we have a resource-intensive task to complete, such as say processing an image or doing some sort of machine learning, we might have to wait a while for the task to complete. We don't want a client having to wait for this to be completed. So what we do is we pass off the task to be completed by a work queue, and this worker process works in the background and will pop tasks off the queue and complete them for us. This concept is especially useful in web applications where it's impossible often to wait for a complex task to complete during the short HTTP request window. This pattern also has other benefits such as improving our scalability and reliability, which we will talk about in this video. So in our previous videos, we saw an example of a setup very similar to this that we have on screen at the moment. We have a producer which published messages to the broker, to the default exchange. These are then pushed onto a queue and consumed by a consumer. And this is fine in a lot of different scenarios. But what happens if, say, our producer is producing messages every 5 seconds and our consumer can only process these messages in 10 seconds? What will happen is the first message will go onto the exchange and onto the queue and be read by the consumer, which will start processing it. While the consumer is processing this, the producer will push another message through the exchange onto the queue, which will sit on the queue until the consumer task is completed. So it will sit on the queue for 5 seconds. And this will continue to go on, and we will build up a backlog in our queue. And this can cause trouble on our broker, as each message in the queue will take up a bit of memory on the server. And if the memory gets exhausted, we'll run into out-of-memory issues, which will cause our broker to fail. So how can we make our system a little bit more robust? So we can use the competing consumer or the work queue pattern to make our solution a little bit more robust. And we do this by adding a second consumer which listens to messages off the same queue. So now we have a setup like this where we've got two consumers pulling messages off the one queue. So this means that when a message goes onto the queue, either consumer A or consumer B will pick that message up. And by default, RabbitMQ does this in a round-robin manner. So the first message it receives will go to consumer A, the second message to consumer B, third to consumer A, fourth to consumer B, and back and forth like that. So in this simple example, the producer will push a message onto the queue. That message will go to consumer A first, which will take 10 seconds to process it. While consumer A is processing it, 5 seconds later, producer B will push another message in, which will go to consumer B, which is free. And then 5 seconds later again, another message will be pushed in. In this case, 10 seconds have passed, so consumer A will be finished processing its first task, and that message will be dispatched to consumer A again. And this will continue, and we'll have a perfect balance between producing and consuming messages. A round-robin approach like this works in many scenarios, but it doesn't work in them all. Say for instance, if consumer A took 15 seconds to process a message, but consumer B was much quicker, taking say 2 seconds. Again, we're still producing a message every 5 seconds, and the first message will go into the queue and be consumed by consumer A, and it will take 15 seconds to process that. After 5 seconds, the second message will be dispatched and consumer B will process that, which will take 2 seconds to process. So at this point, consumer A has 10 seconds left of processing on its current message, while consumer B has 2 seconds left. After 2 more seconds, consumer B will complete processing his message and be free, while consumer A still has 7 seconds remaining on the first message to process. Then another 3 seconds later, the producer will publish its third message onto the broker. By default, our round-robin approach will assign this message to be processed by consumer A, even though consumer A has still a message in flight with it. So this will be dispatched to consumer A. In this case, consumer A is processing 2 messages at once, while consumer B is processing 0 messages. This is clearly not the most efficient approach to this problem, as we'd ideally like our message processing being distributed evenly across our consumers. This happens because RabbitMQ just dispatches a message when the message enters the queue. It doesn't look at the number of unacknowledged messages for a consumer. In order to overcome this, we can set the prefetch value of 1. This tells RabbitMQ not to give one more message at a time to a worker. So we won't dispatch a new message to worker A while it has a message in flight. Instead, it will dispatch it to consumer B because that currently has 0 messages in flight. Again, this might cause a build-up in messages in our queue if we're not careful with how it's set. As we talked about at the start of the video, this competing consumer pattern also gives us some benefits in terms of scalability and reliability. Say for instance, we're noticing a slowdown in our system and it's caused by the background processing that our competing consumers are doing. For instance, our producer is producing messages onto the queue on average every 2 seconds, but our consumers are taking around 6 seconds to handle them. This means that some of the messages might be waiting around for a while before they are handled. We can simply solve this by adding another consumer to listen to messages from the queue. By adding this third consumer, we've increased our ability to process messages by 1/3, and we should stop seeing the messages backlogging. As the queue completely decouples our consumers from our producers, we can keep adding more and more consumers until we feel that there is no backlogging and our background tasks are being processed in a timely manner. This approach also gives us some additional reliability. Say for instance, one of the nodes running one of our consumers goes down and no longer processes any messages. We still have 2 other consumers working away processing the messages. So if we're processing a critical workflow, we might see the performance of the workflow go down in terms of how long it takes to complete, but it will still be able to complete. For instance, if we're processing user registrations, we'll still process the user registrations, it just might take slightly longer. We could defend against this even better by adding even more consumers, so that if one consumer goes down, we're still processing the messages in the time we expect them to take. I hope this video has given you a good overview of how to use the competing consumer pattern and what it's all about. In the next 2 videos, we're going to look at code examples for competing consumers in C# and Python. So please watch the appropriate video for the language you're most familiar with. If you enjoyed the video, please stick around for more RabbitMQ content and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.